Was it on Time? It was on Time Magazine today.
Was it Michael Duffy?
I think Michael Duffy, an editor from Time Magazine, who was on this morning, making a point that I think goes without saying in terms of but it should be said, and we never hear it in the corporate media, that in fact we are all on the dole. We are all on welfare from the U.S. government. I've talked about this many times in the past. 96% of Americans, 96% get government largesse. And those 4%, I don't know, maybe they're just tweeners. Really wealthy tweeners. For a couple years, they don't. Get government largesse in the form of having their taxes reduced because they own a home, or getting some other type of tax break because they're a corporation, or because they get their money through interest payments or stock sales, or because they own a trucking business, or on and on and on. Here's the point that you rarely hear. Oh, this wasn't on Morning Joe. It was on Matthew's show over the weekend. Let's play it now.
You never say, besides entitlements, the even worse word is socialism. But in effect, once you're 65 in this country, when it comes to health, you're guaranteed to be taken care of.
We're all socialists from the day we're born. You know, you don't have to be poor or unemployed to be on welfare. We're all at the trough. We're all welfare queens. Your house and your health care and your child. Well, maybe not your child care, but my parking is subsidized. You're very subsidized. And the whole country is built essentially on a series of assistance.
Okay, explain that to the skeptic out there who says, what's this guy talking about?
Well, whether you don't have to just get direct payments in the form of Social Security or Medicare, you get it in the form of tax benefits for your house or for child care or for commuting or for parking, so it's a totally subsidized nation, one nation subsidized.
Well, the big corporations and people who make a lot of money are subsidized as well.
That's right. So what I'm saying is, while the entitlement program is what's driving the budget, the notion that it's a few people, it's all of us.
Well, the other question is, more staying on this point, I don't know anybody that says I don't want Medicare. I don't care if you're a zillionaire. I don't know whether Warren Buffett takes it or not, but people get it because it's free.
That's right. And people go in and ask for all kinds of tests and probings and whether they need them or not, because they know it's going to come for nothing.
But in that sense, it's like we have the worst of both.
And now, the only thing I have an issue with is, in my experience, when I have health insurance, I don't go in and I say to the doctor, hey, doctor, you got anything you can stick up my butt? Hey, is there a catheter you can stick in my other holes or something like that? Just because I know it's not going to cost me much. That's not the way that people get health care. That's not the way they do it. The reason why we have, and frankly, if Medicare was the driver of that, then you would not see private insurance industry costs accelerating at a pace faster than Medicare. In fact, it's the opposite. And considering the fact that private health insurance has up to now excluded people who are ill, excluded people with pre-existing conditions, excluded people who are poor, the people who tend to get sick more, yet their rates are increasing, everything he just said about Medicare is exactly backwards. It's exactly backwards. We would expect an insurance program that has everyone who is over the age of 65, we would expect the cost of healthcare to be skyrocketing more so than the private health insurance industry. But it's the opposite. It's the opposite. So the guy was right. We're all on the teat. That's what part of being society is all about. The problem is that we have a cohort of people, and in fact, I would argue that all of us are paying too little in taxes. Or the vast majority of us are paying too little in taxes. At least relative to the historical average, but we still need the same services. And that's why you're part of a society. because the society can do things more efficiently. So the guy was, 90% right. He just lost it on the Medicare thing so that he was allowed to come back to the show next week.
I don't know. Matthew seemed pretty sympathetic
Yeah.
to the first part of it.
Yeah, somewhat.